guys even hear me right now? LOL. Hi. What is up? Welcome back to Talking About the Taboo with yours truly, Natalie Malloy. You may be wondering, why the fuck are you on the goddamn floor? Well, because I was doing yoga. Yeah, you hear that crack? That crack in my knees? Yeah, that's old age. Anyways, today's episode, you see my fat ass in the background? Today's episode is about yoga and pleasure. We're welcoming all curious minds who want to know everything there is to know about sex and relationships. But most importantly, people who want to get flexible and really feel how sex is supposed to feel. You don't need to be flexible, but you have to be able to stay out of your mind and be mindful, meaning mindfulness. And that is what today's episode is going to be about. I want to make sure that everybody does something to be able to calm themselves down and ground themselves before really getting it nasty in the bedroom. Because if you don't do this, you're constantly going to be completely uncomfortable. You're constantly going to be like questioning what's for dinner that day. And you'll never fully, truly, if you're a woman, be able to come. And even if you're a man and can't like really focus, you can't really get to the point where you need to get to. You can't get hard, whatever it may be. It's probably because you can't focus. So stay tuned for today's episode with guest Cheryl. Cheryl is an amazing person. She's someone who introduced me to yoga, someone who brought me peace and understanding in a time when I was going through a breakup. And I want nothing more than her to come on my podcast and show how beautiful of a butterfly she really is. So stay tuned and stay on for just 1 second to watch me do another downward doggy for you. Mwah. Okay, everybody needs to take a big breath in. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to Talking About the Taboo with yours truly, Natalie Malloy. On the other half of the screen, you see a beautiful woman. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Natalie. My name is Cheryl Strauss. I am co-founder of a yoga company called HEAL Bflo. And my business partner and I started about 12 years ago, focusing on providing yoga classes for Western New York in all different kinds of places. So we wanted to provide yoga for people that couldn't afford it. We wanted to provide it in neighborhoods that didn't have it. And because we were so passionate about what the benefits of yoga are in every aspect of your life, hence HEAL Bflo was formed. We started doing yoga retreats. We started doing yoga in different neighborhoods, churches, schools, local businesses, corporations, outside, inside, everywhere we could have a yoga class, which is anywhere because you need nothing except an empty room. We started doing yoga.
I am obsessed just with the beginning statement where you did it for free because you did it out of the kindness of your heart.
Well, when you become a yoga teacher or when you start the practice of yoga, you start to learn that the number one important part of being a yogi is to giving of service. Mm-hmm. So in order to really legitimize yourself and who you are, and I tell this to people, I run a yoga teacher training at 200-hour teacher training. And I tell all my students that don't think you're going to walk out and teach yoga at your favorite yoga studio. You need to walk around, you need to meet people, you need to say
Mhm.
yes to everywhere you go. I mean, I have memories of teaching yoga at a Baptist church in the
Aw.
east side, and I would have to clean the glass off the basketball court before the
Mhm.
students would come practice yoga
Oh my
because they
gosh.
needed it. And
Yeah.
you have to, in order, in my opinion, in order to be a good yoga teacher, you have to live the yoga life. And
Yeah.
that's being of service. So that's where it started for me, and that's where it continues for me.
So when you talk about, like, living in yoga, I say a lot of the time living in pleasure. That's what I say, and I think that's kind of like the same thing, right? Because, yoga brings you pleasure. I don't just mean sexual. I literally mean you have to live in pleasure, otherwise every other aspect of your life is just going to be shit. Like, you know
Completely,
what I mean?
completely. And another way of putting it is being authentic with
Oh,
who you
yes.
are. Yeah, and the more you open up your body,
Mhm.
and which goes with your topic and yoga, the more you
Yeah.
open up, the more you live your authentic life and surround yourself by people that feel like your people, everything else in your world opens up. Whether it's
Yeah.
sex, whether it's working out, whether it's your job, your career, your
Mhm.
relationships, whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing, was what is your intent? Why did you, like, join yoga? And so I kinda wanna ask you too, before I kinda get into, like, even how I know you and my intent behind yoga. What really brought you to yoga?
Well, I don't even share that with very many people, but it was probably about 15 years ago that I was having an issue with the person I was in a relationship with. And I was feeling stressed, and I was trying really hard to make this person feel safe with me instead of insecure with me. And
Mhm.
I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know how to show this person that love is pure. I didn't know how to show this person through intimacy or through
Mhm.
communication that if you don't have trust, you don't have anything.
Anything. Yeah.
And one of my really good friends asked me to go to yoga. And I was kind of just frustrated and feeling at my wits' end about my relationship. And I was like, I might as well try it. I've always been active. I was a runner, I ran marathons. I used to go to spinning classes. I used to do lots of different exercises. And I showed up.
And it pays off. Have you seen yourself? Woo!
Yeah, I went with him to a yoga class, and that day I never stopped. I felt something connect with me that I've never felt in my life before, and that's the difference between working out as opposed to mind body connection. And that's what yoga gives you. And
That's
then yoga,
amazing.
yeah, yoga starts out as a physical exercise, and I'm sure you've heard me say that in
Oh
class,
my god, yeah.
but it's so much more. And you just surrender to it like anything else in
Mhm.
life, and it's
Yeah.
it's powerful.
It absolutely is, and it was so powerful, it got me through, something that I never would get thought I would get through. So, those who are, like, listening, how I met Cheryl, was, well, she did classes at Buffalo State, and, I was just, like, depressed walking around, like, just the campus, and I saw, like, a sign after leaving one of my classes that said, like, yoga on whatever day, like, Tuesday, Thursdays, I think it was, and
Yep.
Saturdays. And I was like, yoga. And I have always been the very eccentric, hippy dippy, whatever it may be. People call me all the time. And people have said, like, why don't you just try yoga? Blah, blah, blah. Because I'm always like trouble minded and my mind was going a million miles a minute. And I was very emotional. I still am. Um, and I just said, you know what, fuck it. So one Thursday afternoon or evening, I just showed up. I didn't even have a mat. You gave me a used mat. I have now my favorite mat here, which has become my safe space. Oh my God, your mat really does become your like teddy bear. And I was just going through a really bad breakup, and the breakup was a domestic violence breakup. It wasn't fun, um, but I was just trying to get through it as he was still going to the campus. And so she just brought so much light and joy and made me in that, like, whatever, however long that was, 60 minutes, made me forget about everything that I was feeling. And especially she's just so like motivational, inspirational. I shed so many tears on that mat because of you. And
Beautiful.
then one day, that bad man showed up again, and that's when we like ended up getting into things again. But like she was just trying to calm me down because he showed up into my safe space.
Yeah,
And I was in the front. Do you remember that?
I certainly do.
Oh my God, my whole body froze and it just took
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. So it was in that moment I was still able to like continue doing my practice, but it took a lot of like again mindfulness and putting intent back into my mat, back
yeah,
into what I was there for to stay focused.
yeah.
So that was
That's
yeah.
amazing, Natalie. And I remember that and I felt that from you.
Ugh,
I'll never forget that. And you continued to show up
I
and
really
he
did.
continued to show up. And I think it was a very healing experience for you because of it, honestly.
True. Yeah, every time I was there, he was there, and then that unfortunately we ended up like starting things again, and but what brought me back to like my realization was seriously honest to God was yoga because you would talk about things and you would say quotes that like almost aligned perfectly to like
Yeah.
basically you nonchalantly telling me like Natalie don't do it. Natalie don't do it. Like I don't know. It's like some of these quotes you say. I was like, are you talking to me?
I know. I hear that often. My style of yoga that I teach, even though it is a hot, powerful, invigorating practice, it's not just stretching. Um, it also has a component of inquiry, we call it.
Mhm.
And so with every class, I always develop a theme to talk about. And especially, I mean, I do it everywhere, but when I see the importance of what it does on that campus for college students,
Mhm.
I mean, over and over again, I tell everybody that Buffalo State College yoga classes are my favorite to teach because reaching the students, watching you guys listen to
Mhm.
an adult that isn't there because I'm your parent. I'm there because I want you to trust me. And the things that people have told me in those classes and the way people have just attached themselves to the practice is just been the most incredible experience in my journey as a yoga teacher. So every time I
Yeah.
walk in there, I just love it.
So when you talk about like everybody has like a different reason for why they're there and you love like just watching people like enhance their lives, can you kind of explain to me what yoga, like how yoga can enhance one's experience in general, whether it be with pleasure, sex, in life, anything?
Well, I mean, I took some notes when I was coming on here and I kind of
Mhm.
broke down to different sections of what yoga does. And one
Yeah,
of the benefits, of course, is well, one of not of course, one of the benefits is the mind body um, connection.
connection.
So
Mhm.
once you start learning how to breathe on purpose, so breath is the most important tool we have in life. And we all take it for granted because we breathe on our own without thinking about it. But when you start to focus in on your breathing, you can control your nervous system. It's not just, it's science. So this
Yeah.
practice of yoga isn't just made up by a hippy dippy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and it's a scientific phenomenon how
Yeah.
when you start breathing slow, steady inhales and exhales, you start to create a sense of presence in your body. When
Mhm.
you start doing that and you stop, well, your mind never stops, but when you start
Slows.
mindfully bringing yourself back over and over again, that discipline of that practice helps you control everything in your life. Like
Yes.
so when you have a hard situation, when you're feeling stressed, when you have an exam, when you're not feeling secure about your body and you want to be with your partner, but your mind is telling you, oh my God, he's going to think I'm this or that, or I feel this, or whatever it is. When you start bringing it back, it starts to cause more ease in your life.
Yes, the
So,
breath thing, like
yeah, for
the just the when you're able to like sit there and have you ever like breathed with a partner? Like even just sat there, and that's very tantric of me to say.
yes, yeah.
But I don't like it completely can like I don't even have to no foreplay is needed. He'll just sit next to me. I'm just like, let's match each other's breathing right now. How does this feel? So I agree with you. The breath
Yeah,
work.
and you know what'd be a great thing to do is try being with your partner, or whether it's a sexual partner or a friend, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter, but somebody that you trust enough, sit back to back with them,
Mm.
have almost like a mindful meditation, maybe put music on, maybe not, but just connect with each other back shoulder to shoulder and take like 10 minutes and just breathe together. It's pretty powerful.
Powerful, more powerful than a vibrator. I'm telling you guys, whoever's
Right.
listening,
Right.
your bodies will vibrate together and your panties will be wet in seconds. I promise you. So
Totally, totally.
breath work is
And then
everything.
that brings me to the physicality of it, right? So the practice creates openness in your body. So it strength for a female, it strengthens your pelvic floor. So the more you practice certain poses, the more your body, from your physical standpoint, not just your pelvic floor, from your legs to your feet to your hands to your chest, everything about your body starts to get stronger, which also will enhance pleasure because you're feeling more confident about who you are. So I really like, I think that's really important. And
Yeah.
then there's just the whole compassion part, right? Your body presents, how it works will provide compassion to yourself and others. So when you start sensing that movement and that breath work and your connection and your clearing and your everything together,
Yeah.
you start to have that connection with another person or yourself, whatever that case might be.
So, the idea of like bringing it all together, we got the mind, we've got the physical aspect of it, and like the compassion. There's something that I talk about that's called sensate focus, and sensate focus, is it's a sexual like thing that you can do, but it focuses on all three of what you just said.
Oh,
It
really? Yeah.
focuses on the breathing. You have to just sit there and breathe with your partner. No sexual acts. Then you could start touching your partner, connecting the mind to the body.
Yeah.
But nothing sexual still. You're just touching your partner.
Right.
And then you're doing it to make them feel loved, which brings the compassionate in.
Yeah.
And then as you merge, continue the breath, that you're just kind of stacking like a stacked sandwich, basically. Then you're able to maybe go more to like the genital area. Still, no sex is involved, and you have to maintain the same breath. So to me, there is non-sexual yoga and there's sexual yoga, because to
Yeah.
me, like anytime in yoga, I was always thinking like, how can I bring this in the bedroom? Because I'm just a freak like that. But
Right. Yeah.
what you just explained is sensate focus, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I mean, there's a lot of correlations to yoga in every aspect of your life. This is just one piece of it.
Hmm.
And when you had asked me to come on the show and speak with you about it,
Yeah.
I never have before. And when I did some diving and research about it, I mean, I've talked about it before, but not to this capacity. So I was really excited to be able to come.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. So what are like do you have any like a specific success story per se that you've watched someone throughout yoga, and just seen the changes of which they've just become who they are?
I've seen, I mean, I have had so many people
Hmm.
meet their partners in yoga
Aw,
classes. Yeah, I have a lot of people from our yoga bar league.
yeah.
They have met their best friends. They have met their partners. I actually wanted to create a book and have everyone write to me their experience
Oh my God, yes.
on what the practice of yoga has done for them in their life.
I love
So
that.
there are I had started doing it and I got about 20 different people that wrote to me and I have them saved, and it's it's special. Like I can't even, I mean, I don't even know what to say. There's just, it is an endless amount of people. Probably every time, every person that walks in the door when they're going
Mhm.
to do yoga, probably 90% of the people look at me and say, I really need this today.
Yeah.
So it's a shift of energy. The practice is a shift of energy. And whether that energy is yoga, whether that energy is talking like we are, whether that energy is just taking a walk outside, singing, crying, dancing. When you shift your energy again scientifically, you reevaluate your moment to moment. So when you're having a depressed day or a moment and you're feeling sad or scared or whatever emotion it is, we don't tell you to walk into a yoga class and not feel that. We
Yeah.
tell you to walk into that yoga class and experience it and watch how the clarity of it happens, how it transforms from the moment you get on your mat to the moment you leave your yoga mat.
Yes, because sometimes walking into yoga, you don't always have the right mindset yet, right?
Yeah,
Most of the time, so if you guys don't know what bar league yoga is, it's the best fucking thing ever. But basically, she has HEAL Buffalo has restaurants around like Western New York. So the first time I went was at Taboo Pizza in this area.
right,
Upstairs, it's like a whole bunch of people. We all do yoga for about an hour, and then we can go downstairs and mingle and have a blast and shove our faces with food.
right.
And majority of the time, people are coming from work,
Yeah,
right? Or
yeah,
they're dropping off their kids
yeah.
and they're stressed or they're having a great day. And we're doing, I remember we would always do, what was it, the heart and the thorn or something? Was
Yeah,
it?
so the beginning of each class we would have,
Mhm.
which we had about 200 people registered, and we
Oh
would,
my gosh.
everybody would split up into groups, just randomly pick like 3 or 4 people that they've never
Super
met.
scary, guys.
Yeah.
Super scary.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. So that's another good part. It's supposed to take you out of your comfort zone and
Yeah.
pushing you to your edge, whether it's physical or emotional. That's
Mhm.
the whole point. That's how we grow. That's how we don't stay stagnant, right? And
Mhm.
we would have, and just for icebreakers, we would have everyone in their group tell a thorn and a rose that happened in their day. So something that bad that's happened and something that was a highlight of their day. And just that vulnerability creates trust with each other. And that trust transfers over into your yoga mat. And whether you know how to do yoga, whether you know how to do headstands, handstands, or you can do anything, nobody cares.
Yes. And the thing is too, there was days and there's going to be days, whether you're doing yoga or working out or having sex, whatever it really may, whatever it may be, is that you're just not that into it. You know what I mean? Like some
Right?
days you just can't do that, the downward doggy. You just can't. Some days you just aren't balancing right. And you know what? You can just get down in the child's pose. Like no
Yeah.
one judges you there. Like you can
Yeah.
do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. We invite you to show up as you are.
Yes.
And
Like
when you
guided.
start to know that you can show up as you are, you can show up as you are in your bedroom with your
Yes.
partner. You can show up as you are at your work. You can have a bad day. We're not here to be happy yogis. We're here to be real. And I think that when you start living your back to the beginning authentic life, that shows up everywhere in your life in a more positive way. Not necessarily happier way all the time, but a more
Yeah.
positive way, because that's what you want to do. Is you want
Yeah. You just want to maintain some way, shape, or form some type of happiness in your life.
yeah.
And how you portray that and how you deal with that is honestly up to you. But I definitely recommend yoga. So speaking of, beginning of yoga, so I wanted to show you this and my viewers. This is a book called a yogic path reflective journal. So every single day before yoga beginning, I can even show you, like, open this up. So when I started yoga, like at Bar League, I brought this in when I was going through like a really, really hard time. Um, the first I have it dated because I didn't bring it in like way before is actually a year ago. So this is January 18th, 2023. And so what it does is it takes you through like what like menstrual cycle you're on, really goes through like the dharma type of thing. But it asks 3 things that I'm grateful for today. So on this particular date, I put to be open about my feelings, yoga's welcoming community, and then self-investment thoughts. Like, that's so cute of me to say. um, and then it says today's intention. And then it goes, I am dot dot dot. And then my highlight of today was, today I learned and I love myself because.
I love.
And it just goes I know you can't see it because my camera's shitty, but like it literally has sections. And that particular day, I put those 3 things I was grateful for. Then today's intention was relax at yoga and be with myself. I am in my head. My highlight of today was it being glow night as my first night back to yoga. You guys had a really fun glow night that night. And then I said, today I learned someone who met you 2 months can treat you better than someone who met you 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I love myself because I can recognize when my past lessons are recreating themselves incorrect, and I can now correct my reaction. Woo.
Natalie, thanks for sharing that. That's amazing.
So this book has brought me so much joy, and I'd always like look forward to it, and I'd be filling it out with like just listening to everybody's conversations around me. Because like I really wanted to put again my intent into the yogic practice. I wanted to make sure that I was showing up for me,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else. I wasn't forced to be there, just like
Mm-hmm.
in the bedroom, you're not forced to be there.
Right.
So this book was my foreplay of yoga. That was
You
my
know,
thing.
you said a very powerful thing when you were talking about that, and I do say this. I've said this before that the 2 most important words you could probably say are "I am."
Ooh.
And that's something to think about because and I tell people all the time is your self-talk makes such a difference in everything you do in your life.
Yes, it does.
And even when you're joking and you make fun of yourself, like I hear people, I'm sure we all hear people do that all the time. We do it all the time. I'm always joking about I'm feeling so old. I'm around so many young people all the time and I just always make jokes about it. If I continue to tell myself that, that's what I'm going to become.
Yeah.
And that's something that you all have to remember. You need to talk to yourself the way like as if you were talking to your best friend, because the truth is you are talking to your best friend. And if you
Mhm.
don't fill yourself up with I am positive words, you will start to be the words that you joke about.
Yeah, ain't that the damn truth. Or if you show up and you're like, I just can't do this. I can't do this pose. I'll never be able to do this. Or I cannot do this position in bed. You'll never be able to do it. Or I can't love. I can't trust. Yeah,
I
I
was just
can't.
gonna say that. Yeah, I am not worthy of love. I am not
Yeah.
worthy of compassion. I am not worthy of a person that treats me the way I deserve to be treated.
Ugh,
That's
just
what you
hearing you
get.
say that was like, oh,
Yeah,
you want to hear that. Like when you, that hurt that you feel from another person saying that to themselves is the hurt that your body feels when you say it to yourself.
100%.
Um,
100%.
and we just like don't take that into considerations. And so like a lot of people can like look at yoga as so like methodical, and you guys are just, again, it goes into like y'all are just a bunch of hippies. So what are some like misconceptions that people take and portray to you about yoga?
Um, that you're supposed to be happy and friendly all the time.
Mhm,
My kids
yes.
always joke there when if I would get mad at them and they would say, "Mom, you're not being very yoga-ish." That was their joke, not and I used to say, "You're absolutely wrong. Me telling you my true feelings is what being yoga-ish is about, right? Like you
Mhm.
need to show up for yourself and your community and your workplace, wherever you are, and be yourself. And the more confidence you get from being yourself, the people will find you that you need to be around.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
And it's just like sex, right? Like I'm a little old school. All right. So I don't, I'm 58 years old. I have a 32-year-old and a 30-year-old, two boys. And I'm a little old school when it comes to sex. Like my best friend is 20 years younger than me, my
Love
business
it.
partner, Jocelyn. And when we became friends, probably, God, now it's probably been about 15 years that we met each other in a yoga class and just fell in love with each other immediately. And, um, and we joke that sometimes my role is her mom, sometimes it's her best friend, sometimes it's her parent, her mom, parent, sometimes it's her business partner, whatever it is, it changes all the time. But she would be, she was in the highlight of her time, right? She was dating guys, she was calling me, I had to pick her up places. I mean, all this stuff that went on. And I'm like, all right, I thank God I raised boys because this would be too much for me.
The
But
drama of dating.
one thing I do know is that she felt confident and loved. So
Mm,
what she taught me about sex is that it doesn't, it, if she wants to date someone a couple times or she wants to go home with someone and have fun with them and do whatever she wants to do, she was strong. She's one of the most strong, confident women that I know. And I respect her immensely. So I learned that whatever your expectations are going into the bedroom, just don't falter them because you think that you deserve something different.
yep.
Like don't have a one night stand because you don't think you're deserving of anything more. If you
Mhm.
want to just do your thing and have fun and be careful and whatever that means to you, that's cool. And I learned not to judge from that. But I think that also stems from being more open because of yoga. I would have
Yeah.
never met Jocelyn, who's 20 years younger than me, if I hadn't been going to a yoga class. And I wouldn't relate to the college kids at Buff State. It's age is irrelevant. There's so many things that mean nothing
Mhm.
in life. Like you can go through this life and judge yourself and say what you should be doing and how much money you should be making and who you should be dating and who you shouldn't be. I don't know. I think it's
I
all
l yeah, it's all of literally all of the above.
yeah,
The confidence that is radiating from Jocelyn every time I see her is
yeah,
magical,
yeah,
and I am not surprised that she radiates that in the bedroom, honest to God.
yeah. I
And
mean, right.
I I mean, honestly, she's pregnant, so she knows she's getting some good some. Um,
With number three, by the
I
way.
know, my god, she found the good one. Um
Well, I mean, FYI, and if don't not to freak everyone out, but her husband did have a vasectomy a year ago. That might be another topic you want to talk about someday.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were done. They were done.
Failed.
Yeah, it failed.
She's probably like, "Psych.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
have great sex. We were just gonna be pounding going to Pound Town every day, and
yeah,
whoop."
and
Oh, yeah. So that what she talks about too is that confidence that you recognize that she had. We
yeah,
If you bring that too into the bedroom or in onto your mat, you will realize that afterwards how good you do feel
yeah,
because you brought yourself there. You stepped on the mat, you took the steps into the breathing and connecting your body, and then you end it like, I just did that. An hour goes by in a blink of an eye
yeah,
and you just sat there and did that, and then after you have sex, like, you just, like, sit there and you're like, that aftercare is not just for the other person, but for you.
yeah,
Like, you're like, "Damn, I just did that," and to be able to be confident. So I love that she taught you that.
yeah,
What a
yeah.
beautiful thing. So when we're talking about breath work too, is there any specific exercises that you do to, like, help with people with breath work?
Well, I mean, my biggest and meditation helps with breath work a lot.
Mhm.
It teaches you how to really slow it down. Um, if I was just going to start out and somebody wanted to just start learning the breath work because it will, if you do nothing else, I mean, movement is extremely important to me, but if you are unsure and you do nothing else, if you just take 5 minutes a day and start to focus on your breath. Like I like to put music on when I
Mhm.
meditate, but I'm just a music person.
Me too.
Um, yeah. And if you just
What
like,
kind of music?
oh my God, I have, you don't even, I could go, I, I could go on and on. I mean, I love yoga music, but I also love rap. I love
Mhm.
classical music. I went to probably 20 Grateful Dead concerts when I was,
Hell yeah.
yeah, no, I'm a music lover, all sorts. Lately I've been into a lot of just like not even vocals, just like,
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar with this like Indian kind of, I don't even know how to, I don't even know how, what you would call it. I can send you some, but there's some
Yeah.
music that, I mean, I make playlists all the time. So I get lost in Spotify making playlists and
Lost in the sauce.
yeah, yeah,
You always had really good music, I know afterwards, I'd be like, "What was that song?" Like, I'm trying to think of the word, and I type it into my Spotify, I'm like, "Oh, that's what it is." I have, like, really good songs on my playlist from literally just going to yoga and being like, "Oh my
yeah,
god, that was so good," and I'm like, "How
yeah,
does this?"
yeah. Music is I mean, it's kind of like going with sex too. I mean, the rhythm that
God.
music can provide for you in any sort of movement,
Yep.
it is is special to me.
When I was doing yoga and the music aligned with, like, my poses, like, going, like, downward doggy, and then we were doing some balancing, and it just was, like, flowy, and then it went faster and slower and faster and slower. It was so perfect. I don't know how you aligned it perfectly to what you were doing, what or if you put it on and the other instructor was doing it, it just was so good. I felt so much better after yoga if
Yeah,
the music went with it.
totally. Well, I put a lot of time into making that happen.
It's like
Sometimes
a
it's luck and
performance.
sometimes it's not.
I love it too because that essentially what you said, like even in the bedroom. I prefer music on. I do a fantastic performance with music on, okay?
I love it.
Especially if it's going into the beat. I got a whole playlist called Communicate, which is something that's my saying.
I love it.
Um thanks. And I can tell that my mind is going a million miles a minute without music on. I could hear every little tiny thing. I'm looking around the house. I got this to do and that to do, but once music is on, it's full send. I
Yeah.
am there with you, and I am making sure you're good.
So music is like your breath.
Yeah, there you
It's similar.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Music
could
is
do that with I mean, you're sometimes I don't put any music on in class and I call it your yoga music. Your breath is your music. And when you just focus on it and you move to it and you jive with it, it works.
what is that, thing we do at the beginning and end? It's like, what is that called?
Om, an ohm. An ohm is a
Yeah,
vibration. So it the vibration of it brings everybody together. It's a way to connect people together in one room.
and I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it just makes my whole body just some people are just like, "What the fuck? Are these a bunch of alpacas?" Like
I know it makes people uncomfortable sometimes, but I do it with every class. Not every teacher does, but I'm a firm believer in ohms. So
for those watching, I'll play one right here for you, so you can hear it. But it's honestly amazing because that is another for me. It's like kind of like breath too, because you're using all your breath and
it
you're
is.
using your vocal cords
Yes.
to connect. There was also some other like partner poses that you did with us at Buffalo State. Can you kind of explain to me some like beginner partner poses to do for yoga and maybe be like a little activity for couples to do?
Yeah, so partner poses are really a really great way to connect with each other, a really great way to build trust with each other. So, doing it with a partner that you're familiar with is a great idea. Doing it with a stranger, I mean, I mean, there's things like just looking at each other in the eyes. So
Mm.
standing like an inch away from each other and just I would go through the line with people. I would have everyone stand in a line and they would have to look at each other in the eyes for maybe a minute and then move to the next person and there are some people that get extremely emotional in it It can be very powerful to do it. That's not physical, obviously, just literally connecting with each other's eyes. Um,
Mm.
Physical postures, I like to do. Um, Sometimes I like to put people back to back, and we can do ab work like that. We can uh,
Ooh.
take a yoga block. I put them in a squat, and they have to just move around with it, like they have to pass it to each other in a circle. Yeah, or even
Oh my God.
sitting up in boat pose, which is on your sit bones when your arms are lifting up, and we
I'll
do a
put pictures up for you guys.
other, right? High five to each other just to make it fun, right? You can't take
Yes.
it too seriously. Double planks are always really fun.
I think I have a picture of
I think I have
me.
a picture of you doing a double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
So
with
one person
someone.
goes on a plank pose, which is a push up, and then the
Yeah.
other person their hands go on their ankles and their
Yep.
go on their shoulders.
Yeah, that was a wild and it was so much fun. I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm doing it. I'm
Yeah.
doing this." Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
and I'm
fun.
holding up a dude, right? Like, you can literally it's weird how your strength when you're in
Mhm.
that pose can hold up somebody twice your size.
Yeah, yeah.
It
That's I don't know how gravity it just
Yeah,
quite quite odd of a situation too is like when I that's like balancing. I
mm,
know that I'm a horrible person when it comes to balance, and you said you would always have to find your drishti, right?
drishti, yeah, nice, yeah. Drishti
Yeah.
is your gaze, so it's
Yes.
also a way to, um, slow down your whole system. So when you're feeling anxiety or feeling stressed, if you just focus your eyes on something, one little spot, one tiny little spot. That's how you, instead of wandering eyes, that's how you can stay balanced.
And that helps me in many other things besides yoga.
Yeah.
I think about you a lot. So lately, the grocery store or any store, for example, especially during the holidays, just gives me straight up anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I cannot. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I do what I do is I find my drishti. Like I just focus on down the aisle. I could see the bananas. You know what I mean? I see that they're right there. Let me just keep going. Let me make my goal to get to the bananas. And then once I get to the bananas, I find my drishti again, and I'm just like, all right, now we're gonna go to the canned goods. This is it has helped me. Of course, I still if I only go to the grocery store if I absolutely have to, and I'm just ordering online otherwise.
Well, don't forget, Natalie, that and I talked about this in my class today because I know it's a highly anxious time right now
Yes,
before the
yes.
holidays, and
Ugh.
everyone's hustle and bustle, and everyone's pulled to their limit financially, emotionally, the whole thing. But
Mhm.
you have all the tools you need inside. Your
Mhm.
peace does not come from external things. So when you find true peace inside you, and that comes from a practice of meditation or a practice of yoga, you can take that's like your little toolbox. All those
Yeah.
little skills that you have in your little toolbox, your drishti, your breath, your all those things that you create, that you learn on your yoga mat, that peace is inside you all the time. You just have to stop and remember it.
Yep.
And so finding calmness and finding peace at moments that you're not sure you can do it, you stop and you take it. Like if you're
Yeah.
in the grocery store and you're like, I'm so sick of all these people and I can't
Literally.
afford to buy all these groceries,
Yeah.
go sit in your car before you go in and take 2 minutes to breathe. It
Yeah.
will change.
I also smoke weed, so that definitely helps a little bit. Calms
Yeah.
me
Well, you know what?
down.
I like to smoke weed too. I'm not a drinker. I don't really like to
All
drink.
right, Cheryl.
So I do like to smoke weed, but I'm not a good weed. Like I couldn't smoke weed and drive.
Yeah, yeah, don't do
That's
that.
not me.
That's
I like,
illegal, guys.
I mean, I'm not one to good to like function
Yeah.
I'm like one to like at the end of the night when I just want to
Mhm.
chill and just veg out. That might be my time. But listen, I think weed's a lot better for you than alcohol any day. So
Absolutely. And you know what? The high that weed gives me is the high that yoga gives me afterwards. It is a natural high. So for those of you looking maybe to outsource, maybe you're just smoking too much weed or you're drinking too much, or just your stress level, whatever. yoga will really, really give you the high that you're seeking, that you're
It does.
fiending for. And I didn't
We
know that.
call it a yoga high. People
Mhm.
walk out of class and I can't tell you how many people leave their yoga mats, leave their what. We have like 500 water bottles in our yoga studio in the lost and found because people leave their shit everywhere because you are just in a whole nother planet when you walk out of a hot yoga class.
Yes, I haven't done the hot one yet. I'm actually kind of scared because I get overheated as it is in a non-heated like yoga
Yeah.
class. So
Well, any yoga
God,
room, but that heat, man, there's something about special about that heat, especially in Buffalo winter.
true. Walking and you're like, ah, then you start moving. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, when you're sweating in a 95
Mhm.
degree room and then you walk out in the winter,
Mhm.
you that cool air feels so good. It also keeps you healthier,
True.
builds your immune system.
It's kind of like cold plunges, but the opposite way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Kind of, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think, putting yourself in a different environment, aka temperature, kind of like shocks your body.
Shocking, but right.
And then you're sweating off. Literally, you are sweating off the stress. That's how I've
Yeah.
interpreted it.
It's
Um,
shifting, like I said earlier, it's a shift of energy.
mhm,
So it's that's what creates clarity in your brain. So once you move around and you shift it, and I said it's not just yoga. I mean, my thing is yoga. I mean, dancing. I know a lot of people that
mhm,
dancing does the same thing for them. Talking to your best friend, calling a friend when you're having a hard day, um, your partner, whoever that person is, crying, laughing,
yeah,
all of that shifts your energy.
absolutely. And I think that being able to fully sit in yourself,
Yeah,
shift your energy. I'm here. I'm in the room. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my yoga. Finish the hour. Go on with your day. You're able to actually feel good about what you did for the day. You feel accomplished at the end of it.
yeah,
You're proud of yourself.
yeah,
I don't know. That's what I took from it. That's
yeah.
what I.
Yeah. Everyone takes something different from it. Um, but everyone gets nobody walks out of yoga and says, I wish I didn't come.
Absolutely. What a way to put it.
Yeah.
So do you have any resources, books, or communities that you can recommend? I know yours is Heal Buffalo. You can kind of tell us where to find you too, for people who are looking to do yoga.
Yeah. So Heal Buffalo, you can, it's BFLO, like it says on my thing. It
Hmm.
is my Instagram. You can go on my Instagram. I have a website. You can contact me if you're looking for yoga, if you're looking for free classes, if you're looking for whatever you need, whatever you're looking for when it comes to yoga, wherever you live. Reach out to me and I can help you with that.
So one thing before I let you go is somebody who is looking to do yoga and just doesn't know where to start or how to feel about it. What would you say to them?
I would say take it's okay to be afraid. You don't have to be flexible because everyone says I'm not flexible enough.
Facts, facts.
Nobody goes to yoga because they're flexible.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
Everybody starts out as a beginner. Grab a friend, come by yourself, whatever you need to do. If you come by yourself, you will start bringing your friends because that's what everybody does. And there's free yoga around, so try it for free. I teach every Saturday at the Elmwood Power Yoga Buffalo Studio. Every Saturday at 2 o'clock is a free class. So it's a great way to try it. The community, you will walk in and you will feel like you are part of a community within
Mhm.
5 minutes.
Mhm.
That's a promise. And you won't know what hit you. And that's what everybody says.
Yeah. Ain't that the
I,
damn truth?
and you do not have to be athletic because I'm a terrible athlete.
Me
I
too.
couldn't do anything. I can't do anything. If you put me on rollerblades, I'd probably break every bone in my body. And you work hard and you will change your body physically and emotionally like nothing you'll ever imagine.
I love it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Her words of wisdom will always be something that sticks with me.
Yeah.
And
Thank
your
you.
little quote. So I want to thank you so much for coming on and taking your time.
Natalie, thank you so
Appreciate it.
much for having me. It
Of
is such a
course.
pleasure to see what my students are doing. Like, I love to support you. It is so
Yeah.
amazing. From the moment that I met you, I knew, I mean, everybody is just so, that's the students at Buff State are just incredible. So I am so honored to be able to know you and be a part of
Aw,
what you're doing.
thank you. I'm glad I could be a rememberable weirdo because that's what I think I
100%.
am. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie. Take care.
What an episode. I fucking love Cheryl. She brings me such comfort and peace and makes me feel like I don't have to hold my breath. And well, she tells us always never hold your breath. Always breathe it through. And I've been able to take everything that she's taught me on my mat into my real life, like we talked about the grocery store and things like that, or in the bedroom. Breath work is so important, and that's why I wanted to bring Cheryl onto my show was to talk about the aspects of yoga not just being about flexibility, which is a misconception, not just being about working out, what another misconception. It's about making sure you're able to connect your mind and your body. And what she says, also toppling on top of that, is compassion and having compassion for yourself and having your compassion for others. Something that I also did that I talked about was, looking at gratitude and affirmations. So I really wanted, there was this thing that my coworker bought me. It's called Thankful Thoughts, a 30-day journey. 30 gratitude postcards. I'm going to pull out a gratitude postcard today and see what I need to be thankful for today. So let's see. Essential. Wait. Hold on. It's kind of weird here. Oh my goodness. I cannot. Hold on. I keep pulling out the same card, which is the. Ugh! Natalie, could you just pull this out? God. Neighborly nod for making home feel even homier. Thanks, neighbor. So basically, what this means is to be thankful for those surrounded you because people are what make a community. It also can mean I'm thankful for my neighbors because I'm nosy. Hee hee ha ha. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Two new beginnings. Oh, I picked two. This is kind of like a tarot. Two new beginnings for the fresh joy you've brought into my life, eager for our growth. And the other one was romantic remembrance for the chapters we wrote and lessons learned, grateful for our time. Oh, love it. Wish I would have picked that first. Love it. Um, that's exactly it. Romantic remembrance. Everything about yoga is romantic to me. I romanticized it and it was worth every fucking time I did it. So don't go. Oops, fuck. Oops, I don't care. I dropped that. So before I let you go, we've got the sex toy of the fucking week, y'all. Okay. And this toy, let me jump right into it. This toy looks like a jump rope. I'll pin it up here, y'all, or over here. I'll pin It looked like a jump rope. Literally, like the handle is hilarious. So let me turn it on. Okay. It's fucking powerful. So you press the top button, you get the first little vibrator. You press the bottom button, you get them both. They are so powerful. That is just one setting. Okay, this is to be able to have dual stimulation. So, are you into double penetration? Are you into multiple places being stimulated? Are you just into fucking vibrators? You need something powerful but compactful, and you don't want to carry around your large ass fucking wand. This is it. So you can put this basically like on your clit and also near your butt, so you could do some butt play with your clit, and double pleasure is the shit. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but when my man's tongue goes around that area, I'm like, ooh, hello. Ain't nothing going in there. But surrounding it, absolutely. This will be your friend. I have not used it just like in like bedroom sexually. I just kind of like had it and I put it on top of my underwear and I was like, oh, I don't know what it is. Like, even if I'm sitting at like my desk, I'm just like, oh, I could really feel some stimulation in my clit right now. I just want to do stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that weird getting horny in my work chair? Maybe not. I'm probably not the only one. They will, but this is great. I really have so many sex toys, guys. I want to do a giveaway. So if you're interested in that and you're a person who watches my podcast and a true, honest supporter, comment down below. Comment on anything. My social media say, I watched your last podcast. I want the giveaway. And I have a couple sex toys coming in the mail to review. I'll just read the Amazon review and I have to open it for like to send pictures of that I opened it for the review, but I will gift it to you with a bottle of lube included. Like, I want these sex toys, number one, to actually be used, and if like y'all are into it, like I've got bullet vibrators, I've got thrusting dildos, I've got a lot of different things here. So if that's your thing and you're willing to try it or just like looking for something new, please comment down below. I will help you out. I want everyone to vibrate their fucking pussies and dicks, okay, and their assholes. I want nothing more. Like, please make my Christmas merry. Like, Merry Clitmas. Oh my god. Anyways, I love you all, and with lots and lots and lots of lube, remember to clip communicate. Mwah.